Hi guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, so today I am doing Janis friggin' Joplin. What? And look, I even wore like the closest hippie thing I had. I have a lot of boho chic. No. I have a lot of boho clothes, but I thought I would wear like my little hippie shirts. So January 19th, 1943 in Port Arthur, Texas. I was going to go over like how she shot to fame and all this stuff, but I think everybody pretty much knows who Janis Joplin is. I mean, come on, how do you not know who Janis Joplin is, right? So let me just get into the reading. Okay, so let me see here. When Janis Joplin came through, how do I describe her? She was happy, bubbly. Yeah, she was just happy and bubbly. I don't know how else. Excuse me. And I don't know if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, but whenever I meet anyone that's an artist, it doesn't matter what kind of art they do, but when you meet an artist, they just have this, I don't know, they just have this air about them. They just have this, like, you can tell right away that they're an artist and that they're creative and that they're talented, right? Yeah, I don't know. Does everybody else, does everybody else like get that? Okay, you guys, I have someone trying to come through and it's affecting my voice. So hang on a minute. Okay. This is so weird. I have the spirit coming through. Okay, and I recognize this guy, but I don't know why I recognize him. That is so weird. That's never happened before. Okay, I got to get him just to like go so I can focus on this. And I'm gonna tell him I'll come back to him later. Okay, so Janis started talking about her family that she's with now and her family that she misses. She talks about her sister a lot. She misses her sister and that she checks in on her from time to time. And yeah. So I asked her if she would talk about, her life now and the end of her life. And she said, I can talk about it, but, this is boring. So, okay. So she said she remembers leaving her hotel room. She went up to the front desk to get money, and then she went to the cigarette machine, got cigarettes, and went back to her room. And she said she had been doing heroin for a little while. It wasn't like something she'd been doing for years or anything. And she said there were different times when the heroin like affected her differently. And she said she kind of felt like right away that this might be scary. She said it just made her body feel different. And, she thought, okay, it'll calm down. She kept thinking it would calm down. And she remembers going back to her room. She remembers sitting on the bed. And then she doesn't know what happened after that. So I guess that's when she passed away. Okay, so she was talking about at the time of her death, she was engaged to Seth. She was talking about he was supposed to come see her that day and he didn't. Okay, so she talked about Seth. She said that they had been having major issues, that they were engaged to be married, but they had had so many issues. And she said she had thought a lot about killing herself. She went on to talk about she always thought she would die alone. Relationships never worked for her. And she said that was like something that really scared her, was dying alone. And unfortunately, she died alone, which is really sad. That's kind of sad. So she went on to say that there were a lot of times in the last 2 years of her life that she had contemplated just killing herself and being done. She said she'd fallen in love with a lot of women, and she'd fallen in love with a lot of men, and she said she would give 100% of herself, but she didn't feel like anybody ever gave 100% of themselves. She said, she was this musician. She was surrounded by people all the time, and she said she was the loneliest person in the world. She said it didn't matter how many people were around her, she was lonely. She said, when I was on stage and there were thousands of people around me, I was lonely. When I was off stage and I was hanging out with fans or hanging out with friends, I was lonely. She said that was the biggest thing, was she was always so lonely. So sad. Okay, so I asked her if she would talk about what she does, like on a regular basis. And she said that she learned how to play the violin, the piano, and the flute. She said, she loves working with little kids, and she loves teaching them about music and how to appreciate music. She said most normal people listen to music, but not everybody appreciates music. And I kind of understand that. It's the same way with reading. I love to read. I become a character in the book. My husband doesn't understand that because he was never taught that way, and I've always appreciated reading because of that, and music, So it was pretty cool to hear her talking about it. She said she spends her days, doing music and teaching, and she said, she just loves where she is and what she's doing. And I think that's amazing, especially for somebody that was so lonely. And I said, are you still lonely? And she's like, oh my gosh, no. She's like, I love it here. I have people everywhere. I'm not lonely. And she said it was pretty quick after I realized that I had passed that I wasn't lonely anymore. She said that, that deep aching feeling disappeared. And I thought I was like, wow, that's really cool. Really cool. So she went on to say that, she was so depressed and so lonely and so sad, and just, talked about the horrible, deep, aching feeling. And she said, it's amazing not to have to deal with that anymore. She said, it's such an amazing feeling not to deal with that anymore. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you don't want someone on this earth that's depressed to feel like, oh, if I kill myself, you know what I mean? She talks about how she had wanted to take her own life, but that she could never do it. And yeah, I don't know. It was cool connecting with her, guys. She's really cool. So, okay. So be nice, be kind, stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully this world will get back to some kind of normal somehow. There's just so much going on right now. There's so much hurt and pain, and yeah, hopefully it'll calm down soon. All right, guys, that about does it for me. Bye. Bye, guys.